Pod.
Rugby Pod.
Hello and welcome back to the Rugby Pod. The Quilter Nations Series, it's over. And it was pure drama right until the final seconds.
Rassie said that South Africa have one eye on the World Cup. Well, Eben Etzebeth, yeah, I do get it. Your mate Eben, he had one eye and tried to make someone else only have one eye, as did someone else to him, and we'll discuss all of that. Who's gouging who? How long is everyone getting banned for? We're going to talk about it all, Jim. There's a big win for Bath against your Saracens at StoneX. There was some big wins on the road as well. Cape Town boys, the Stormers stormed. Do you get it? Thomond Park. Get it. And also the Chiefs, Exeter, they went and stormed the Sail Sharks up in Manchester. So some busy away wins.
Save it, Andrew. Let's get into it. Let's do it. Settle back, enjoy. Make sure you're subscribed on Spotify. There we go. Let's go.
How was Dubai, lads?
I don't want to talk about it. What? I do want to talk about it, and I don't.
For me, I was very happy. And I've said this a million times. I woke up on, it could have been Thursday morning. It might have been Friday morning, but whatever morning it was, I was happy because as I was waking up, Andrew was walking in. So if I'm tired, if I'm stressed, makes me happy. But it was wicked. To think we were in Dubai a few days ago and a lot's happened since then is crazy. But that's our life at the minute on the road. It was wicked. Loved it.
It was really good. Obviously flew in, had a few beers with James Hamilton on night one. James Hamilton goes to bed. I'm drinking on my own for a while, looking for people. I don't know what sort of people, just hanging out, right? And then we had a great day on the Wednesday. Jim, you caught up with your brother, didn't you, Wednesday, for a bit of lunch?
I did catch up with my brother, yeah. Big shout out to my bro, who is...
dominating.
Yeah, he's killing it there. He's got red bottom shoes, which for me is a reference point of doing well. And... he's gone from washing cars to washing money. He's there you go. He's doing well for himself, yeah. But it was cool to connect with a few people. I've got a few mates that live there now. My brother lives there, and I say it whenever we travel. There's a heartbeat of rugby, and there is in Dubai as well.
Yeah, no, it was great. We had a dinner on Wednesday night at Amazonico with Clarkson's Futures. So big shout out to all those guys. Great people. And Jim was very corporate, James. He did really well talking at the dinner. James was very wise. He went to bed at a reasonable time, probably about 1. Myself, not so much. I stayed with the Clarkson's Futures guys and girls. So big shout out to Rob and Emily as well. And I don't even know what time I got in. Don't even know what happened. And I woke up.
Well, I can tell you it must have been about 6:30 because you were FaceTiming there. So.
Shush, James. It wasn't me. But no, great time. And then obviously the live show with GHA Discovery Hotel. So big shout out to everyone involved with that. The hotel we stayed at the Paramount was good fun. We had a great live show. How good does Scout Brits look at the same age as me?
He looks great.
I mean, he always did, and he always does. He's got a bit of the old salt and pepper on the hair now, but he looks $1 million still.
He was great. There's a story on Eben, which there's a few stories on Eben at the minute, but there was a story he told on Eben Etzebeth that I can't get out of my head. All I'm saying is someone's floor was getting mopped. That is all I'm saying.
It was a good story.
I was there for it. It was a great story. Yeah. So I was smiling, and then it is ironic that we're talking about 3 legs into one eye equals one eye.
Yeah, we'll get onto that later. But yeah, massive thanks to GHA and Paramount Hotels for hosting us. Get yourself signed up wherever you are in the world. It was generally class. Loads of great hotels. The Anantara if you're for families. Nikki Beach if you're not for families and you're for parties. They've got 900 of the best hotels in the world. Free platinum room upgrades. $50 free just for the Rugby Pod listeners. The link's on our website, therugbypod.com. So get yourself signed up. Our next ones are in Croke Park, London, Hong Kong. So sign up. Come to some live shows, get free $50 and put it towards your holidays, wherever you go in the world. Great setup, GHA Discovery Hotels.
Yeah, do you know on that, just for the listeners, right? And we are promoting different things, I get that. And I try and make sure we only promote stuff that we're genuinely using. Mate, I have been using this now and it is genuinely class. As we know, I'm on the road.
And you're clueless as well, aren't you, with travel?
I wouldn't say clueless, I'll just say that I am... scatty, let's say that. I'm all over the place.
Yeah.
But having a platform like that where you get $50, but more so the ease of doing it and got an upgrade as well.
Yeah.
I don't know whether that's because we were doing a live show there or they just wanted to upgrade, but I got a suite. I had a suite.
Double upgrade it was, James, if you're titanium.
Was it a double upgrade?
It was a double upgrade, yes, James. Yeah, so we had a lovely suite.
Well,
I didn't see much of it, but it was a hell of a suite, wasn't it?
Yeah, I can tell you it was nice. Yeah, when you were FaceTiming at 6 a.m, I was lying in my bed looking out across the plains of Dubai. Yeah, so genuinely, if you are a traveller, if you go around the world watching rugby, if you go around Formula One, whatever it is, wherever you go, and you're looking for hotels or an easy platform, I would honestly say, and I put my name to it, and if you don't agree with me, you can call me out next time, but you won't because I know you'll like it, is go to GHA Discovery and download through the website. And yeah, we'll be putting other stuff across there. I wouldn't put my name to it if I didn't believe in it. So loved it. Very happy.
Well, it was a record defeat for Wales in Cardiff at the weekend. But I suppose the main talking point, and it's not a great one, is it? But what do we think about this Eben eye gouge?
I didn't think it was that bad.
Oh, James, are you absolutely joking? I know it's your Eben, but he does have...
Oh, mate, let me just come straight in there because people might have just switched off at that point there. So even in that pause moment, people might have switched off. So I obviously do think it's bad, and we will get into it. I'm trying to defuse a little bit of the chaos, even in my inbox. Like I always getting these messages coming in. Oh, who the effing hell are you mates with now? Like people go, like it's my who have I gouged?
It's your
who
fault.
have I gouged? Go on, Andrew. You go through the details, and I give my opinion at the end.
Ultimately, everyone is looking at the scenes at the end. Now, dress it up however you will. 73-0 up, like a minute and a half to go in the game, whatever it was, and a bit of a scuffle kicks off. Now, everyone's really just looking at what Eben did, right? So Eben has got, and he's gone for him. He's gone for him, whether he's deliberately gone for his eye or not. I'm going to suggest that there was not mitigation, but he was wound up by what happened to him. And there's been some later pictures come out of Alex Mann potentially, and I'll say potentially because allegedly, potentially, whatever it looks like Alex Mann's got his finger in Eben's eye, right? And when we saw, you only really see, when you're watching it on the TV, you only really see what Eben does, and you see him raging, right? He's got the rage, like he has the rage loads of times, but he is going after Alex Mann, and he's staring straight at him, and his thumb has gone all the way in his eye. So it looks horrific. Some people are like, oh, I'm not sure he would have intentionally gouged him. The problem for Eben is, in the pictures that you're looking at, Eben is raging, staring at him, and his thumb's in his eye, right? So it looks like you've got a clear line of sight, bang, thumbs in the eye. What happens in sport and what happens in production and TV and everything out, more and more pictures come out on social media of what's happened, and he was clearly antagonised before, and it looked to me 100% like Alex Mann had his little pinky in Eben's eye when they were grappling on the floor. That's what's made Eben get up, and it's inexcusable what Eben did. Like, I'm not excusing it at all. He's got his thumb in his eye, and he looks to me like he's deliberately done that because it's been done to him. So a massive ban is coming, what I think should be for both of them. Alex Mann was instigating it on the floor, and whether he deliberately got his finger in his eye, it doesn't look good. It looks equally as bad as what Eben did, but you can see that Eben is hypercharged up to go after someone. And like you've said many times on this pod, Jim, there's loads of pushing and shoving and fake tough guys, and I'm not saying that's what Eben is, but you don't go anywhere near the eyes, you don't go anywhere near your testicles, and there's no spitting. They're the kind of three things that are enough to make a man see proper red, right?
And biting.
And biting, yeah. It's not a great sight for rugby fans and kids and anyone watching it, because it's just the thing you don't do on a rugby field. But Eben's obviously had something done to him, and then he's got up and he's thumbed him straight in the eye, which, is inexcusable, and it deserves a massive ban. Deserves a massive ban.
Yeah, only Eben really knows, doesn't he? But I looked at their interactions after the game, and Eben would have seen it on TV, and it was almost like, no, you fucking did something to me, and I fucking did it back. That's what it felt like. That's what the interaction looked like, and only Eben knows, doesn't he? But going through all of that stuff and like mitigation and was he provoked, I've got no idea. I probably disagree a little bit with Goode. It wasn't as clear for me from the pictures that I've seen. I've only seen a couple when I've been looked online. I think, and again, this is back of a fag packet, I reckon Alex Mann gets nothing, and I reckon they'll give Eben a 6-month ban, and they might mitigate it down, I don't know, by clipping his nails or chopping his thumb off. I don't know.
But either way, he's having Christmas off, so he's on the beach and happy.
Yeah, imagine being the Sharks.
Yeah.
Imagine being the team that employs him. Well, we're now joined by legendary former Springbok loose head. He is one of the all-time great scrummagers. You're one of the all-time greats, Gurthrö. 3 Super Rugby titles with the Bulls, the top 14 championship, and of course the big one back in 2007 with the World Cup. Gurthrö, have I missed anything or not? Is there anything else you want to add to your CV?
Oh man, you're going to make me blush, man, and I don't normally blush.
South Africans don't blush.
Props don't blush, but Jim's all over South African. So, mate, it's great to have you on. How is life? I know you've obviously been heavily involved with the coaching and everything like that. We're going to get into South Africa and the weeds of what's going on with the scrum. But how is life with you?
No, great, man. Back in Toulouse, just enjoying the break a bit from coaching. A lot of people don't realize how intense it is to be a full-time professional coach. So after 4 years in the rat race, it's been great just to reconnect with my family. And my family stayed in Toulouse while I was in La Rochelle, so that wasn't easy. A lot of people don't realize the sacrifices that we make as coaches to chase our dreams. And luckily, I've had my family that supported me, and it was actually quite funny because my missus and my kids would say, "Oh, but Dad, nothing has changed." It was like when you played for the Box, you were never here.
Yeah, Gurthrö, you know, with that, so when I saw you in La Rochelle and I see Jerome Kano and I saw some of the stuff they did with Aki at the weekend when they were doing the hacker, and I didn't realise how many New Zealanders were involved at Toulouse. But when I saw you in La Rochelle, I was like, you staying here then? Maybe just give the listeners, and we've got a South African audience as well, why you've left South Africa, you've come and made a living for yourself up at the north in France specifically, and you've not gone home and you've stayed in France, which some people struggle to integrate into that culture. Why has it been so good for you?
I think firstly, I came over to France for a reason. I wanted to experience something different. I wanted a different challenge in my rugby career. I was fortunate enough to have achieved great things in South Africa. You just mentioned the back in the day with the Bulls, we won Super Rugbies. We achieved some amazing things. And then, I came back from the dead after being written off in 2009, sworn to never ever wear the Springbok jersey again, to be nominated Player of the Year in 2010. And I won that. And it was a great achievement. I was very humbled by that recognition. But then I said to myself, what next? I've achieved basically everything that I could in South Africa, and I wanted a new challenge. I do believe you can't stay in your comfort zone. That's also one of the reasons why I decided also to move on as a coach from La Rochelle. But staying in France, it's all about embracing the culture. You get a lot of foreigners that come to France, and yes, you fall in love with the croissants and the chocolatines and the rosé. Then you pick up 7 kilos, you lose 10, and you pick up 12. It's part of the journey.
How'd you lose it?
Keto, brother, keto, and not drinking. And I made the effort to fully embrace it, made the effort to learn the language, allowed you to communicate. I remember right in the beginning, if you arrived late at lunch and you weren't sitting at the foreigners' table, you were just like, ça va, and then that awkward silence started, and you just started scrolling on your phone. And then I realized that's not who I want to be. I want to connect with my teammates. Back in the day, the Bulls, that was our strength. That was what culture is built around, be able to connect and understand each other better and relate better. But it's also the French lifestyle, sometimes the simplicity of it and the way they appreciate, like over lunchtime, nobody works. All right. I remember back in the day at Toulouse, there was a break between 12 and 2 at lunch, and I went to the physio and I said, mate, can we maybe just catch a session and get our work in? He says, no, pas possible. I'm like, why? There's nothing on. There's no training. He says, no, in France, we don't work at lunchtime. We eat. We have our dessert and our cafe. So I think it's the simplicity. In South Africa, we are very hardworking people. We get up early in the morning, get on the grind. People are getting up at 4 a.m. in the morning, going to bed at 8 a.m. and you're constantly working. Lunchtime sometimes doesn't even exist in certain workspaces. And just the way the French live, enjoying life. When the sun is out, people can have a 2-hour conversation about that, and it gives them an excuse to sit outside on the terrace and having a few glasses of rosé. So in a nutshell, that's why I stayed. I stayed for the rosé and the sunshine.
I was pitching it doing in Edinburgh here, so I am sold just on that. Scrums. It feels like there's so much that's happened between today with everything at the weekend to the week before, where we saw a masterclass with South Africa against Ireland. What are they doing right in South Africa? Maybe just give us an idea of the DNA, the mentality that your fellow countrymen have and why you're so good?
I think we've got to focus on the 3 Bs. Biltong, beer, and brandy. That's ingrained in our DNA in South Africa.
That is my life.
Now, on a serious note, as South Africans, we grow up to be aggressive. That's in the schooling system. It's so competitive, in the terms of the forward play, the set piece, and you feel proud of it, when you are dominating your opposition physically. And you can go out there to overpower your opponents. And to be honest with you, years ago, we as South African, we didn't have the skill set to play the expansive game. And, all this behind the back. But I learned how to pass at Toulouse when Guineves forced me to pass. He's like, oh, gee, you need to pass the ball. I'm like, no, I just need to break the wall. That's my job. And that's how we were drilled into. That's how we grew up. But things evolved over the years. But coming back to your question, why the scrum is so powerful by the Springboks. A dominant scrum doesn't happen overnight. It takes hard work. But most importantly, it takes a full-on buy-in from all the pack. All right? If you got flankers that are worrying about how they're going to be celebrating their tries, and whether they're going to be putting 2 fingers over here and stuff like that, it's a different thing.
Leave our Henry Pollock alone now. Come on.
No, I'm just joking, just having a bit of a banter. But you need a full-on buy-in. You need the whole pack. They actually want to scrum. So as a coach, I always tell players, what is the goal of our scrum? What is the whole purpose behind it? It's not just about dominance. It's about setting a platform to attack. It's about putting the opposition under pressure, creating a platform where we can actually get a good line speed and get off the mark and actually put up opponents under pressure. But it comes down to your identity as a pack as well. So years ago with La Rochelle, when we were dominating in the Champions Cup, our mission statement was we wanted to break down our opponents physically, mentally, and emotionally. We want to see their heads drop when a scrum is signaled. And that's exactly what the box. But it's also about the culture that Don has created as well. And the players are proud of the efforts. I mean, if you're good at something, you got to keep going at it. But it takes a lot of hard work. I've seen how they train. They don't hold back. They're not doing any soft skills when it comes to scrum training. They're going old school, full on live scrums, no scrum machines, and everybody is giving it their best. Nobody is managing their load during training.
But Gurthrö, the other teams would be doing the same. Like Ireland would have said the same, right? Andrew Porter, Dan Sheehan, Ty Furlong. Like these are 3 of the best front row players in the world, and arguably to have played the game, they'd be in the top 20. Them 3 players, like they would be. And South Africa absolutely destroyed them. So their mindset going into the game would have been the same as you've just given there. What's the difference then between that Irish pack and the South Africa pack? Because they would have had the buy-in. You're a coach, right? We need to scrummage. We need to stay low. We need to take South Africa low. They're tall. Whatever the kind of conversations would have been before, and it just didn't happen. Why did they get annihilated the way they did?
I believe South Africa has the ability to generate so much power in the pack. I think firstly, naturally South Africans, we are strong, but the Springbok players, the way they are built, they just got the engine for it. And I think in all fairness towards the Irish players, they matched us with physicality, but there's a certain element when it comes to South Africans. There's this deep burning desire to achieve something which sometimes we can't explain. And I remember with the build-up to the World Cup in 2023, I was taking flack left, right, and center for my colleagues in La Rochelle. And they said, the French team's going to win. I said, okay, that's fine. But there's something which South Africans have. I can't always explain it, but it's just we have this desire to go above and beyond, because for us, rugby is not a sport. It's practically a religion in South Africa. But if I have to come back to your question, when you come to the technical point of view, the team that has the ability to be synchronized together, move together as a pack, that constant hip drive, having their feet planted in no disconnect, maintaining that triangle of power in their pack, because there are different triangles of power in a pack, and just takes just one player to disconnect from his triangle, kicking out his hips, a lock sliding onto the back of the hooker, a flanker that is looking up, or number 8 that is meerkatting, then it plays a massive role. But I think it comes down to South Africa. They are so strong individually, they are so strong collectively, and plus we got to thank the Irish media for riling the guys up before the game, because the French did it, the Irish media did it. At the end of the day, you don't want to put petrol on the fire. So if you want to constantly be putting out comments out there, what do you expect? Rassie Erasmus, he puts it up in the hotel where players can see, he shows all the videos. And if you don't want to make a South African man, we lose our shit. We go completely crazy.
Oh, we saw that.
Yeah,
we saw that the weekend.
So Gurthrö, obviously you've been coaching a while now in France. I know you're having a bit of a rest at the minute from that, but here's your opportunity to teach everyone how you would stop a South African scrum, because no one knows how to do it, right? I know you mentioned then about staying connected, but if you're coaching, England are the next team to play South Africa. If you're Steve Borthwick as the scrum coach, you know it's going to be a massive point of difference from the South Africans in the game in July. What are you doing to stop it? Are you just saying, lads, all the best, get the ball in and out and hope for the best? Or technically, how do you coach against that?
Well, if I do that, then I'm going to be giving England the upper hand.
That's all I need to know. We need to know.
Don't do it. Don't do it, G-Man.
I'll get you a job. I'll get you the job.
Nah, it's actually funny you mention it, because I'm actually in the process of I'm mentoring about 13 coaches now, helping them to level up in the scrum. And I actually put out the challenge there. You need to figure out how to counter the South African scrum. So in order to coach that stuff, it's going to take a long time, because firstly, you need to get the players functionally strong. You need to get them scrum strong. That's the most important. They need to be able to generate power and in a state of fatigue. That's the most important. They need to be able to dig deep. They need to develop resilience, but also technically, they need to be good individually and collectively. But the key would be, what I use a lot, to help especially weaker players develop that engine and develop that ability to maintain that shape, time under tension, and maintain their posture, and also generate power, is scrum overload. So scrum overload is creating scenarios where you are scrumming 8v10, 8v12, 5v8, creating these ridiculous scenarios where you are forced to dig deep, because if you don't, you're just going to be eating grass, and you potentially might need to see the dentist as well if you're not wearing a mouth guard. So it's about creating these conditions where players have to scrum under brutal conditions, not just by working on just going live. It needs to be meticulous. You need to be very precise in what and it's going to take time. But if you want to match the South Africans, you need to have a strong shot, or engage, as we like to call it. You need to be able to travel within 10. But then is that sweet spot, which I call the pressure battle. That pressure battle just before the ball gets, where the feed comes in. It's about finding your position. It's about hitting your scrum targets, staying locked in with your triangle. And it's going to take time. But it's not, I do believe you can work on a team. I always say there's the technical side to things, the physical, the mental, strategical, and the tactical side of things. We all know that in rugby. But the biggest element that you need is the mental. You can have all the technique in the world, but if that moment comes where you need to step up the line and you shit yourself and there's no toilet paper, you're kind of screwed. So you need to be able to.
There's no toilet paper. I love
it. Or coach, you can get on the phone and beg World Rugby to depower the scrum and take it out of the game, because that has been a big argument. And listen to you speak, I could talk and listen about scrums all day. If I had another life, I would have been a South African. I would have been in the front row as well. I love scrummaging, and I see the value and the foundations that it is to the game. But a lot of people have been questioning that. Gurthrö, what are your feelings on that? And it's different for you, one, because you're South African, but also you're in France, where they actually value the scrummage as well.
So we say rugby is all about tradition. You know, we talk about that mutual respect. We talk about that brotherhood. We talk about that camaraderie. And, you know, it's the great thing of rugby. And even today, also being in the podcast space, being able to connect with the Ali Williams, you know, Owen Franks, and you're having them on, you're reliving those moments. That's what rugby is all about. You work for those memories. But, I mean, you're going to war. You're going to war. That's what it's all about. It's always been about. I mean, if we want to depower the scrum, why don't we create AI agents replacing coaches? We can do that if we want to. We can go that full-on route. There are certain things you need to maintain. We all use AI for different reasons in life today. but it doesn't replace the human connection. It doesn't replace the human effect. And I'm not talking now from a South African point of view. You remove the set beat, that's what it's all about. It's about the maul, the forward play. People get excited about it. The scrum, it's about you're earning your badge of honor. And obviously, if the forwards are not suffering, that means the backs need to start suffering, and they don't like that.
No, thank you.
They don't like that. Yeah.
No, thank you. I like watching scrums. That's it. I don't want to be involved in any scrums.
Now, I do believe, we need to maintain the integrity of the game. That is very important. We can look at changing a lot of laws. We want to depower the cities. At the end of the day, if you take the scrum or you depower it, what is it? There's no more fight. And what people don't think about with World Rugby, there's so many rules that have been put into place with the head contact and everything that's going on. And I'm not here to discuss about the red cards or all those type of things. But at the end of the day, I always say, a boxer, when he goes into a fight, what is he expecting? He's expecting to get blows against, multiple blows against the head. An MMA fight, he goes into the cage. He knows potentially could lose his life. He knows what he's getting in for. But you can't take certain elements. You can't tell a boxer you're not allowed to hit on the head. And you can't tell an MMA fighter, listen, you're not allowed to put the guy in the chokehold, all those type of things. So we need to maintain them. But the most dangerous part, we're trying to reduce the intensity of certain collisions. Because let's be honest, rugby has changed. Rugby players are way more conditioned. They're stronger. They are fitter. They are capable of repeating efforts for 80 minutes. We've seen that with a lot of teams. If you look at a guy like Ellis Genge as well, which I call a modern day prop, he can run hard whole day. And he won't tire out after 20 minutes because that's just the player he is. But he's also different. He's also got that X factor. But if you are not depleting the energy of the players that's in the war tanks, what do you expect is going to happen in the collisions? If they have more energy for collisions, then we're going to have another issue on our hands. At the end of the day, rugby is a contact sport. I do agree. We need to make sure that certain measures are put into place to protect the players. Player safety is crucial. That's priority. But then it comes again to the scrums, the dark arts and all these type of things. But you got players that are so blatantly cheating. So that's why I do believe that players need to also commit and step up to the line where we can actually have a full-on and fair battle in the scrum. But at the end of the day, you got to ask yourself, a birthday without a cake is not great. Go to a party without a beer or drink, it's not the same. So it's almost like we're going to be going vegan, and no disrespect towards the people that believe in that. But it's like going to a barbecue and just going to have vegetables. So that's my opinion when it comes to the set piece.
Is there a team that can compete? I had France beating South Africa, and I thought Ireland might have had a shot as well. And both of them, scoreline might not reflect in the Ireland game, were comfortable wins for South Africa. Who would worry you as a coach? Like, who would be the team that you've got your eye on, being like they're the ones that could trouble South Africa in the next year or so?
Say it. I'm waiting for it. I'm hearing it. I'm here for it.
Look, the ABs. A lot of people write them off. I just did it on purpose. Now, in all honesty, Ireland, I think, if I just want to start with that, but the Irish team, despite having all those cards against them, they stayed in the fight.
Yes.
They went all out. They didn't. Any team that gets destroyed like that in the scrum, at some point they would be demoralized and they would give up. But they didn't. If you saw toward their attitude towards the end of the game, the way they stayed in the fight and kept up and running hard. So you got to respect Van der Fleer, all those players. Unbelievable. So Ireland, I still believe that's a team that will still be very competitive. This loss like that, that's probably one of the greatest things that could have happened to them, because that's going to unleash a beast going forward. Because I remember back in the day, I experienced humiliations like that. I've been dominated. I go back to 2009, played against Leicester Tigers, and I played against Castro Giovanni for the first time, and I got smashed. And I couldn't even go back to South Africa because the headlines in South Africa said, Gurthrö's been castroed. My dad said to me, son, I don't think you should come home. Go see your mates in France, go see your mates in England, and just have a bit of fun. But then coming back to England, I do believe they have put the ABs back under a lot of pressure recently in this game. There's been some great behaviours. There is some positive behaviours which we are seeing from the English pack, and I do like the likes of Joe Hayes. I do believe he's a strong scrummager as well. Great potential there. Will Stewart as well. Genge, great. And then with Baxter, that is still young. But the English pack do from time to time resort to a little bit of cheat codes. But they do have the ability.
What do you mean?
That's English.
What do you mean?
It's English. Let him finish. Let him finish.
Okay.
Keep going.
Don't worry, they do have a cup of tea afterwards, so they keep it classy. So, no, honestly, they have some great qualities. So, obviously, in the Premiership, the scrum is still important. So, I do believe the English pack do have enough in the arsenal to give the Springbok a good challenge. And I always tell players, you're only as good as your last scrum or your last game. Doesn't mean you dominated now and you're at this state means it's going to be the same in 2 years' time. A lot's going to be happening in the following year and a half in the build-up to the World Cup. You can have injuries. You can have a change of dynamic. A lot of things happen. So you need to keep that in account. And then the ABs as well. They've always been present. And, they're going through a time at the moment similar to what the Springboks did a few years ago. There were the times the ABs were unbeatable. They were just smashing it. And I do believe these so-called moments of inconsistency in certain areas of the game, especially the set piece, is going to help these teams to get even stronger. Because now that we've identified that the Springboks in the set piece, in the scrum, is probably the strongest pack in the world at the moment, teams are going to be putting more emphasis on it. And I do believe adding that element to a Rugby World Cup where we have teams that are actually working to play more attack in rugby, to really create great entertainment for the team, but you also got a bit of that dogfight that is still there. So it's like having Beauty and the Beast in the same movie as well.
Gurthrö, mate, it's class. I could listen to you speak all day. Like, it's a real treat for me going into the dark arts, but also listen to parts of your show. I'm seeing it pop up on social media. It's been really good, mate. The Coach G show. There's no better man to be talking about scrums. Being in France with the experience that you've had as a player and a coach, but also with the South African heartbeat that you've got inside you. Maybe just give a shout out to your show if people want to listen to it, if they want to subscribe and get across it. Make sure I've got all the details right. Maybe you just do a little promo for it.
No, thanks. The Coach G show is something which is close to my heart. It's about empowering young athletes and coaches with the knowledge and the insights to really level up their game, but also for the purpose-driven human being, someone that's just looking for a bit of inspiration and a bit of motivation. We're all human. We all make mistakes. We are not perfect. Even though the rugby world tries to portray us these perfect human beings, we are not. We lose weight, we pick up weight, we have a gut, we have a belly, we all have different flaws and faults. But it's about knowing that if you have clear intent on what you want to do in life, and if you have a clear purpose in your life, anything is possible. And that all these amazing people that come onto my podcast, they share their journey. And my job is to bring out their true authentic selves and show their vulnerability as well. Because vulnerability, it's a sign of strength. It's not a weakness. And Coach G, that's evolving. I always refer, as a coach, I wasn't always that confident. But Coach G, he's a confident guy. He's chasing things and he's doing his best to achieve his goals.
Yeah, that's awesome. So how do people get hold of it then? So it's called Coach G. Is there a separate Instagram handle? Maybe just give us the detail. Yeah. So very simple. It's called the Coach G Show. You can find that on Instagram, our account, and we're available on Spotify, YouTube, and all the different podcast platforms. So it's the Coach G Show. It's that simple. Just can Google it and you'll find it.
There we go.
Love it.
Top stuff, mate. Absolute pleasure to listen to you. I've never heard, and I mean this respectfully, I've never heard a front rower or an ex-front rower speak so eloquently and with such depth and knowledge about anything in life. So
he's a podcaster now. He's not just a front rower.
Mate,
it's a legend on the other side.
Yeah, it's been eye-opening. So, mate, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me, guys. Really appreciate it. And listen, guys, love your work. I regularly tune into your podcast, so keep it up, man. It's awesome
thanks,
stuff.
Buddy.
Legend.
Cheers, guys.
Top man.
Top lad.
Yeah, he is. I mean, how eloquent was he when you're listening to him? And I know he's obviously, gone deep into his podcasting world now, but the thought behind a lot of the stuff that he's saying, like me and you shoot from the hip and just say what we want. He is speaking so eloquently, and the depth of his knowledge and understanding of the emotional intelligence as well. I can't even say the word, but mate, he's a top man, eh?
But that's what it is. His life experiences that he's had and the ups and downs of his journey. Like you heard him talk about it there. He came to France and no one was interested and carved up and then learnt French and then coached in La Rochelle. His family was still living in Toulouse. Like these are life experiences, right, that give you then the platform and foundations similar to us to talk about. Do you know what I mean? And that's what it is. So there's no better person to be able to deliver a podcast and talk about it. That's what it is, isn't it? You don't just rock up and do it. It's no coincidence that it's going well for him. So yeah, I could listen to him all day. It's one of those where, you know, what the game's built on and them kind of finer details away from the quick kind of, you know, the TikTok dances and all that, which I got stitched up on last week around Henry Pollard, because he's not even doing TikTok dances. He's built on being an athlete. Sorry. But like listening to him talk and stuff like that is like, that's the authentic side and the deep thinking and actually the nuances of rugby, which is what I love. 100%. And many of the listeners will as well, I hope. Right then, Goode, all done and dusted, like we said, but we're going to have to pick, or you are going to have to pick your smartest call of the series, not just the week. And like we've done for all of the series, it's brought to you by our mates at Go.Compare. Because using Go.Compare, Andrew, is the smart decision. Isn't that right, Rob?
It is, mate.
It is. It is. He is absolutely mad for the Go.Compare Quilter Nations Series smartest call of the series. So this is the overall one, Andrew. There's been a few, but it's yours. You go. I'm not even going to feed you.
There has been a few, and they have been very South African influenced over the last few weeks, and rightly so, because they've been brilliant. But my smartest call of the Quilter Nations Series, and people might not like this, but it's going to go to Steve Borthwick and England. We played for, we won for, we built depth, we used our POM squad off the bench, and we are now on an 11-game winning run. So around the world, people hate us, but Steve Borthwick has built his depth. He's got the boys believing. The players have led from the front. The POM squad's come on. We're 11 wins on the spin. Potential Grand Slam on the way, which everyone will hate me saying too.
Calm down, which means calm down.
It does mean calm down. So Steve Borthwick gets our Go.Compare smartest call of the series for his management and coaching and use of the bench and building squad depth, Jim.
There we go. I did see Phil Morrow at the Saracens game, who is now head of performance for England. And I was like, mate, 100%. Easy job, is it not? And he was just smiling from ear to ear. So you could make a smart call too, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, by heading over to Go.Compare and see how much you can save on your insurance.
Well, speaking of the Saracens game, sat with some rock stars, weren't you, Jim?
Oh, I was actually.
Did you get on TV? I didn't see you.
No, I made sure that I wasn't sat next to Andy Farrell just purposely because Flats would be rinsing me on comms. So I was like, Faz was like, come and sit next to me. I'm like, mate, I'm not. Can I sit on your lap? He said, yeah. I said, no. I'm going to go and sit there with a couple of the boys. So yeah, I was there with a few rock stars at the weekend. The great Andy Farrell and Martin Afaye as well. I loved it. It was great. Really good vibe down at Saracens with the rebrand and with Owen Farrell playing 10 and Ben Earl re-signing his contract and the champions coming to town. And it all looked very comfortable. It all felt very comfortable. 14-0 up. Faz is running the show. And then it wasn't so comfortable. And Johan van Gram, he didn't do 8. He didn't do 8 when he brought his subs on. He did 7. 7. And it started to change a little bit from there on in. But look, you know, chatting to some mates there who were casual rugby fans, they were like, when we were 14-0 up, we've got this easily. And I'm like, this Bath team's different. They are winners across the board. They've got a South African influence in their team. They've got world-class players. And we've been in teams before where you're 14-0 down. It doesn't really matter. And it didn't matter for Bath. The way that they managed the last 25, 30 minutes, Max Ajomo coming on, I thought was amazing again.
Told you.
He set up the try. Yeah,
Told you.
did tell us. Yeah, you did tell us. And their squad depth and the quality of players that they've got, even without all their players, like Guy Pepper wasn't playing.
Mate, they sent the Shags. They sent the Shags.
Well, Ben Spencer, Finn Russell, Joe Thockensinger, Henry Arundel. How good was he, by the way? But yeah, just a couple of points from that game. Oh my Noah Kalori. I do wonder whether or not they went too game focused on him, and then they ended up taking him off. So they played a game in which it was a lot of aerial kick to contest, Saracens of old. But I will say I thought Owen Farrell looked brilliant at 10, especially in that first half.
A question on that then. So with Noah Kalori, who you're obviously going to play to his strength because it is a super strength, right? And you're going to give him those opportunities. First question was it wind there?
It's always wind there.
I know it is, but was there a big wind? Because obviously we saw Elliot Daly go for that penalty to nudge them ahead from the halfway line. And it just dropped short and it missed just to the left as well. But I'm like, there must be quite a strong wind, which is why you go to that kind of kicking and kick to compete thing. And you've got to use Noah's strength, right? Because, he's 3 games into his Sarries career pretty much. And it's been an absolute breath of fresh air in terms of his point of difference. But also on that, when you're playing against Henry Arundel and you go into Noah Kalori, how well did Henry Arundel do throughout the game at owning the space? So obviously he's not going to be able to outjump him. And Henry Arundel is a ridiculous athlete, right? We saw his speed. We saw what Johan van Graam said after the game, that he's the quickest player I've ever coached, along with Brian Habana. But it's also technically, I thought I was really impressed with Henry Arundel in owning that space. So he goes and gets ahead of the ball to win the space. So Noah actually can't jump over the top of him. So obviously, with the coaching at Bath and Johan van Graam, they've looked at it and you expecting Noah to win all these battles, but you've got to credit Bath. Joe Thockenasinger as well, I thought was brilliant under the high ball at times and chasing and getting their own kicks back. So, it was a masterclass tactically from that point, trying to nullify what is an amazing strength of Noah and Saracens. And, they did overcook it a little bit, but ultimately when you're watching it, I'm sat there thinking it must be windy as fook because they are going to the contestable kicking game as much as they did.
It weren't windy in the heated seats. Was. But just on that, around Henry Arundel, because I said to Big Faz about Noah Kalori, and was like, this kid's a real deal, the brand that he's building as well. And Andy Farrell's reply was, but how good was Henry Arundel in nullifying that in his own way? And the intercept try that he got, which was against the run of play, Bath are good, mate. They've got some wicked players. Like even this Arthur Green, who started at number 8. And I've heard of him in the England system and people talking him up. A few of the Bath lads, actually, that are in the academy coming through. There's a couple of others, I can't remember the name. But Arthur Green specifically, 15 carries, which was the most of the match. I know Tom Willis went off injured. 12 tackles, 2 dominant. And you talk about embarrassment of riches. Just mentioned Guy Pepper, Alfie Barbary didn't play. Sam Underhill didn't play. Yeah, it's just they are the team. They're the guys in the Bath squad that even if they're not playing overly well, they didn't play that well, Finn didn't play that well, and they can still do that. I say that with all due respect. Finn missed a couple of kicks to touch. There was a couple of things where...
Smiled.
Yeah, he smiled. Yeah, it might have been one kick to touch, but But you look at how well Ben Spencer plays, you look at how well the subs played, and the kind of cohesion they've got. I know Sarri scored close to the try line in the first half, but you look at the physicality on the try line, they're just the complete team. And in their cycle of where they're at, they're in a great cycle, aren't they? The players are re-signing, they're not losing anyone, whereas Sarri's, there's still a few changes, it feels, and it seems, that's in and around that squad. But I'll just reiterate, I thought Owen Farrell looked great at 10. They just moved, it just felt they were connected a bit more than they have been.
Jim, it's nearly that time of year. What do you want to see under your Christmas tree?
Oh, well, Beck, if you're listening, there's only one thing on my list this year. True classic. These lads have built a brand on one simple thing, Andrew. Clothes that fit properly.
Yeah, they've sent us all out some kit, and it is absolute quality, James. Even you could look like you go to the gym these days. They've sold millions of T-shirts.
25 million T-shirts to be specific, Andrew, and about 200,000 five-star reviews. About as many as our podcast, humbly.
Genuinely, the fit and feel are unreal. Soft as anything, sits tight around the shoulders and arms, bit of shape where you need it, and very forgiving around my midriff, James.
And it's the perfect gift. Dads, brothers, your other half, they've even got women's and kids' gear now. Same premium comfort and the same perfect fit.
Yeah, proper no-brainer for Christmas. Looks sharp, feels class, doesn't break the budget either.
And they have a special deal on at the moment, Andrew, especially for our Rugby Pod listeners. So check them out at trueclassic.com/Rugby Pod and see what all the fuss is about.
Exeter go second in the Prem as well, don't they, with a win over Sale?
Massive win, that is.
Sale sort of threw it away a bit, though, didn't they? They kind of raced into a lead.
26-6 up. And I think even the commentators were like, "Oh, it's game done now, isn't it?" But what I love about Exeter now, like you think back to last year when they struggled, right? They were second bottom a lot of the time in the table, weren't they? Went on a horrible run of defeats, and they've obviously signed some international stars. But it was the likes of Ollie Woodburn and Jack Yendall who have been at the club for donkey's years. Ollie Woodburn's finish in the corner after he wins the kickback was outstanding. Jack Yendall gets the pick and Goode try. They've got a bit of power about them, again, which they lacked last year. Henry Slade knocking kicks over. And it was for them, it was, Sale will be a bit shocked by that because they are so good normally at home and so hard to beat, especially on a Friday night. And then 26-6 up. I wonder what the odds would have been for Exeter to come back and win that game. But yeah, you've got to credit Exeter the heart and the effort that they put in, that they probably lacked a bit of desire, but they lacked a lot last season, didn't they? And they're up in the top four. So, it's an outstanding effort from Rob Baxter making the changes that he's made, but also the bit of the tough experience and the tough love last year is starting to pay dividends now where they're winning brutally tough games, because Friday nights at Sale, as we all know, are brutally tough to go and win. George Ford goes off with about 25 minutes to go, didn't he? 20 minutes to go. And, Sale then end up, giving up the lead, and, Alex Sanderson will be devastated.
Gloucester get the first win of this Prem season as well, Jim.
Lewis Ludlow, what a difference he makes. Skipper, 250th game, big shout out.
Yeah.
And there's been a missing link in the team. There's been something that's missing, a bit of experience, a bit of dog. And yeah, he made a big difference when he came on. So, to be at Gloucester at the minute must be tough with some of the results that they've had, to go down in that game early on against Quins, who've been fairly average this year.
Fairly?
Very. I'm being nice, being polite. Big win against Surrey's.
That's it.
That's all that matters.
That's all she wrote. That's all she wrote. Yeah, big shout out to Ben Redshaw as well. Hell of a first try for Gloucester in the Prem. His first Gloucester try. Footwork great. What I loved about it, Ludlow and Ollie Thorley both celebrating 250 and 150 games for the club. Both get tries. And Ollie Thorley's try, he just sits about three blokes down. He's brutal to tackle, isn't he?
Horrible.
Yeah. But they did well, and I'm chuffed for Gloucester because it's been a hard start for the season. Obviously, the 4-week window with no Prem games was good for them, and it was a game they 100% would have targeted, because we know what Quins are like on the road. They're half the team that they are at home, eh?
And then they've got Leinster next week.
Yeah, all the best, lads.
Good luck with that, lads.
Yeah. Well, you say that Leinster ain't going that well. Should have got beat by the Drags if the call would have gone right. But we will get on to the URC.
Big win for Bristol's as well.
Yeah, Bernard Yancey van Rensburg, Eye Gouge. He's English now, apparently, with that name.
No, he's definitely not English.
Not yet.
Definitely not English.
Not yet.
Well,
Next November.
The Bernard part is. Nearly. The Bernard part is in his name, for sure. Who's called Bernard, by the way? The fact that they were 35-0 up at half-time is ridiculous against Northampton, who we have been wax lyrical about all season. That's a hammering. When Bristol get going, and I'd love to do a comparison on this, maybe we look at the stats, like who has got the best attack between these two teams when it's on, like over the last 2 or 3 years. I don't know how you even measure that. Is it like meters made? Is it line breaks? Is it tries scored or whatever? But when you saw this game, you're like, it's going to be an absolute belter, and it was an absolute hosing. 35-0 up at half-time.
Yeah, it wasn't helped by Todero getting sent off a minute into the game for taking out Sam Worsley in the head. He's doing a 360. Boom, 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 lands on his head.
You know that there, I think we're going to see some nasty injuries now. I said to you before, I love the aerial contest. I have, but now you're starting to see really heavy compete. There are a lot more lax on the compete for the balls. And players now are not even trying to compete. Well, not even now. They've always been doing that. If they're not trying to catch it, you could be more clumsy when you're going to tap it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, because all you need to do is get off the ground a little bit and get an arm in there, as opposed to actually being a position to catch the ball where you have to be naturally in a lot more control. It's chaos. And yeah, I don't know. I love the fact that they get a clean run up, because you get to see the athleticism in all its glory. But we're starting to see, there was a game the other week as well where there was a nasty collision. I think it was an international match. Anyway, yeah, like we kind of digress on the laws and the rules of the game. But yeah, an early red card. But I'd say some positives for Northampton.
Yeah, Georgie Furbank back, flying.
Yeah, he's back.
Making breaks. 12 carries, 3 defenders beaten, 2 line breaks. He was special. He's a great player, George Furbank, and we're big fans of him, aren't we? Met his dad. Good family, good people, and it'd be great to see him back fully fit and firing over the next few weeks to challenge for the England squad come Six Nations time.
Right, that was it for the Prem games, wasn't it, lads? No more games to talk about.
No, Robert. No, Robert. Come on, Rod, give us your team. How'd you get on?
We scored 17 points.
It was a dour game on Friday night. I fell asleep watching it, probably because I was a little bit hungover from Dubai.
I don't think that was the game. Let's get it out of the way early on, Andrew. It was not the game, albeit it was a fairly, how do you say? I wouldn't necessarily say one-sided.
Routine win.
Yeah, well, Leicester gave them the respect they deserved, Andrew. They had a few of their big players playing, but they weren't fully loaded and they still won comfortably. And that's a worry for Newcastle Red Bulls, who were struggling to see a heartbeat at the minute.
Well, it's because they're full of Newcastle lads, that's why. They've taken all our best players.
There you go.
Well, good excuse, Rob.
And whose fault's that? Well, whatever. I mean, the fact that Guy Pepper is absolutely carving up it's a shame. You know what? I look at it and I see Jamie Blemire playing for Leicester. I see Guy Pepper doing his thing at Bath. I mean, there's a few other players as well. Radwan Man's playing for Leicester as well. It's a real shame. Like, there's nothing more I can say. And I honestly look at the Newcastle team and I look at the players that you've had and you've produced, and they're littered around the Prem and they're carving up for other teams.
Yeah.
Andrew, let's fire through some URC results of the matches. And I did have a smile when I was lying on my sofa, knowing that you were on a flight up to Edinburgh. And there was no way, even though we're mates and we do a podcast, I was coming out to see you. And you were there, and we'll get on to the Edinburgh Ospreys game. It was an absolute classic of a match. Let's go with the classic first. Let's go with Munster versus the Stormers. I had Munster down to win this game. And the Stormers, fair play to them. It was a top-of-the-table clash. And, yeah, the South African team, that's a big old win on the road. We know they struggle on the road. And when we spoke at the beginning of the season about what South African team will be there or thereabouts, there was 2 statements I made. One was the Stormers, and the other one was Cardiff. Cardiff bat. I said they'd be good, but that was before Matt Sharrett left, and now they are good. Now, even though he's left. But the Stormers, mate, decent without their best players as well.
Yeah, they were missing a few, and they were 21-6 down with about 25 minutes to go and found it within themselves, a couple of decent tries. But Munster will be more frustrated with themselves. They're 21-20 up with 10 minutes to go, and the Stormers have just scored to bring it back to 21-20, and then they try this move from the halfway line. You've got to think tactically, and between Craig Casey and Jack Crowley, they've gone for a little play, special play off a scrum round the back, intercept, and you've got to give a big shout out to Ruan Nell, the 12, who reads the play, goes through, takes the intercept, under the sticks, wins them the game. And actually, it came back and forth, and Munster had another opportunity to go and win it with a kick across field from Craig Casey, which they ended up scoring, but it got pulled back for a knock-on. So I think game management for Munster will be disappointing once you've got 21-6 up. You don't need to keep chasing the game and keep playing. You've got to play tactically, and I think that's where they'll be most frustrated. But Stormers, John Dobson, friend of the show, legend of a bloke, that is a hell of a win, especially when you name some of those players, Sasha Feinberg, Omega Mazulu, and a load of the other Safa boys that weren't playing there. So John Dobson would have enjoyed his Guinness on Saturday night.
I love that South Africa and Ireland are a proper rivalry now, isn't it? It's even seeped into like the club game. Do you see all the niggle afterwards?
Yeah.
Like the screaming in Jack Crowley's face. I know some people call it shithousery, but I love that. I love when the games mean something.
Yeah, I definitely. And you're right in saying that. There is this rivalry that is genuine now. It's not manufactured. And unfortunately for the Irish teams and Ireland, they're on the wrong end of it at the minute, haven't they? There needs to be a shift in that, because I know we've kind of just skimmed through the game, but to be that high up in the game, and with your fully loaded, Ty Byrne was playing, you mentioned Casey, Crowley as well, and Stormers are missing the spine of their team with their best players.
Yeah. Yeah, the niggle's great, and they awoke the beast by winning in South Africa a couple of years ago, didn't they? And off the back of the World Cup as well, that game. And there's always, I love niggle. Just get the niggle in, and then get some celebrating in, but don't over celebrate too much. But you want these rivalries, don't you? Whether it's at international level, club level, and if you sat there watching the game, you want to see a bit of jiggery pokery, a bit of pushing and shoving, a bit of lariness. It's a great narrative.
Drags robbed against Leinster. That's what people are saying.
Yeah.
I reckon Leinster still would have won the game, but Leinster, they were 7-5 down at half time. At 17-all in the game, the Dragons were close to the try line, and there was a high tackle that's gone unnoticed, whereas if that was 3 weeks ago in the Quilter Nations Series, it would have been a 12-week ban. And the soul has been ripped out of them. Any which way, it's tough for the Drags. I mean, Leinster depleted is probably the polite way of saying it, but poor Drags.
Well, yeah, Levi Douglas has picked and gone and got blitzed in the head by Scott Penny, who'd already had a yellow card, James. So, in my opinion, it should have been 2 yellows. But the refs, he's in the TMO, he must be having a poo. Must have been having a poo to not see that.
How good is it to see Ulster good again?
Yeah, really good. It's a lot of chopping and changing with that team over the last few years. You're hearing stuff around the finances, the naming rights of the stadium caused a few issues. No players in the Irish squad or a couple of players in the Irish squad. So politically, a lot of, I would say, friction between them and the IRFU. I don't know if that is the case. I'm just guessing from the outside.
Allegedly,
I've always said allegedly, but you know, with Richie Murphy taking the role there, it was always going to be a tough job. It was. And the expectation of the Ulster fans and everything that comes with that, the fact that they haven't had a huge amount of success. I'm a big fan of Ulster, big fan of how they play. I love that Northern Irish kind of edge and hardness that they have, and that the rugby team and Ulster are central to being in Belfast. I love it, and they're having a great season. I'm disappointed with Benetton this year. I thought they would be better as well, but it's all about Ulster. And Werner Koch, who plays on the wing for them, who was outstanding against the Sharks when he played down in Durban, they got that win down there, has been a wicked signing for them. And then with Augustus as well at 8, I know Angus Bell didn't play, but he was in the stadium. Like, they've got 3 quality players that they've brought in, so their recruitment's been very strong as well.
Balakoon got a couple of tries as well. Great to see him back. He was injured a fair bit last year as well. Proper finisher.
Yeah.
And it's going really well there. Like, I was there a few weeks ago for the Bulls game, and the stadium was bouncing. And to get wins at home, but also I think that big win they got in the Sharks just before the break was massive for them in their belief. And they're in the top 4 now, aren't they? But they've also got a game in hand. Yeah, so massive shout out to Richie Murphy for, getting the troops fired up and winning games. But also Jack, his son, who we saw in a burger joint.
I saw him in New York.
In New York, yeah. He was there with his missus just on holiday. He's like, what are you doing there? I said, what are you doing there? He's like, I'm on holiday. I said, I'm working. Me and Jim have got a live show and I'm just eating a burger on the street. So, Richie Murphy and Jack Murphy, coach and fly half, doing well. Keep up the good work, Ulster boys.
Let's give a nod to the 2 Scottish teams, or 1 Scottish team and 1 Welsh team. So Edinburgh 1917, an absolute classic at the Hive Stadium, and then also Glasgow getting absolutely smoked by the Scarlets, and Franco Smith basically not happy because he couldn't keep on any of his players from last year. Guys like Hanko Venter, and he's called out the SRU basically saying that he's not hearing it, he's not having it, because that's a massive result for Scarlets. Let's start with that one there, because we need to give the Scarlets a big shout out.
Yeah, no, it was good. They dominated physically, strong back row performance. Josh McLeod, skipper, proper gnarly performance, and they were questioned. And the interview afterwards, he was hurting. And they have had a tough start to the season. Obviously, they went to South Africa early on and all that stuff, but they'd played 4, lost 4 coming into this week. And it's a big performance to nil Glasgow as well with their attacking threats. I know they weren't fully stacked, but just watching Dwayne Peel's face and how he spoke afterwards, it's brilliant for Scarlets. So chuffed for them. Edinburgh Ospreys, the less said about that game, the better. It was cold. I was there. There was a bin man, a painter, a dustbin man, a electrician playing for the Ospreys, and they showed real ticker. Edinburgh were poor. It was like they just needed to rock up and win without trying too hard, and they nearly got their sort of arses handed to them a little bit towards the end. But it was cold, and they got the win, and that's all she wrote really about that game. And Cardiff, as you mentioned, James, you said they'd be a lot better. They've had quite an easy run of games. Let's not beat around Jim's bush, but they got a good win over in Zebra, 29-14, up to second in the URC. It ain't all doom and gloom in Wales, lads. Cardiff finishing second as it stands. Just if you're in the league now, they're in a good spot. But yeah, shout out to Cardiff for that victory and being up to second in the league. So good stuff from everyone there.
Andrew, to wrap up the URC, mate, how good are Connacht? I know Sharks are not very good at the minute. They're poor, but I'm loving Connacht. I was chatting to my agent about it. I said if there was a team that I would love to be involved with, out with what's perceived as the big teams, or I see as the big teams, or clubs that I've played at, it'd be Connacht. I love Connacht. Wicked place to go and play. I'm not in love with the stadium not being full.
You say wicked place to go and play, only for the night out. Only that, like, being on that pitch, it's Baltic, it's windy.
Yeah, but there's like a Friday Night Lights documentary. There's something there, like the west of Ireland, the green, the fact that they are the kind of underdogs or the feeder team or whatever you want to say. But anyway, that's a story for another day. Stuart Lancaster's done a brilliant job with them.
Yeah, he has.
Josh Ioane at 10 for them has been a revelation. Paul Boyle, one of the stalwarts as well, is a great player. They've got some brilliant players that go there, and you have to have the right kind of profile to go to that club, right? In terms of working hard,
be able
to fit in. Yeah. A little bit different, almost like a team of, I don't want to say misfits because I've used that analogy before.
Dogs.
But the fact that Matt Hansen's your star player, right? And he's a bit of a dog. You've got Bundy Aki. So if I start naming the players and players that have played for them that have gone by, dogs. And with Stuart Lancaster at the helm, and I mentioned Ioane playing 10 there for them, I like Connacht, mate. I do. It's just a shame the stadium, there was no one there watching the games. But
well, I think is it fully opened yet, that far stand?
Well, maybe it hasn't then.
No,
maybe it hasn't. But what you can see on TV, it looked like there was literally no one. But they're building a new stadium, and from what I'm hearing from an investment point of view and the interest in the west of Ireland, I'm loving Connacht.
Let's go, Connacht.
And that's a big win against Sharks as well.
Well, that's the URC done for a while, Jim. But the big news and the good news is the Champions Cup is back this weekend. And it's all live on Premier Sports. And even more exciting, we got another live show, Jim, Wednesday night in London with Max Malins and Caden Murley with Premier Sports at the Sports Bar and Grill in Marylebone. It's going to be epic, isn't it?
Rob, you come in?
Yes, and I am thirsty.
Oh, gosh, here he is.
How many have I missed? No, this is like 5 in a row I've missed. I am thirsty.
You've missed 5 in a row, but you've missed a load more as well. And he's thirsty and I'm worried. Rob, have we had a drink together yet or not?
No, mate, because you keep playing me off and then you go to Dubai and then I hear you've been out with Slughans, you've been out with Goode. There's only me that you've never been out for a beer with.
Lads, Rob's always on annual leave, lads. I'm waiting for the cry off on Wednesday morning saying one of the kids is ill or his missus won't let him. But
when have I ever cried off my night on the beers? Never.
They're very true. He is licking his lips. But yeah, obviously a big weekend of rugby, and we'll start firing on all cylinders on Wednesday night at the live show, which will be good.
I think there's some tickets left as well,
Yeah, there is. There's a few tickets. There's obviously a lot going on at the minute. There's a few tickets left if you go to ticketbass.org. And yeah, Max Malin's going to be there, like you said, Goode, friend of the show, Caden Murley. And yeah, there's going to be a big build-up. Bath Munster for me.
That's the game you're looking forward to?
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing if Bath can do something in the Champions Cup this year. As we know, it's skewed towards the French teams and the expectation is on Leinster. And we know Munster have got Leinster's number at the minute and they've got history in the competition. But being at the game and watching Bath and looking at the profile of their team, I'm excited for that. So I reckon that's going to be a great game at the weekend.
Yeah, 100%. Get yourself signed up to Premier Sports. Hell of a deal, massive value, loads of URC rugby, all the Champions Cup games live and top 14 as well as Scottish football and loads more, Jim.
Right, lads, there's been some other news.
There's been some what? Other news! I could have gone a lot longer.
That was good, Jim. That was deep. You've got big lungs.
I could have gone a lot longer. Yeah, I've got a massive set of pipes on me and a great suck as well. Where do we start? Manu Tuolangi has hinted that he'll represent Samoa at the World Cup in 2027, which they've recently qualified for. So imagine if they had all their players. And I say that genuinely not trying to be political here. Manu Tuolangi, how good would that see him running out for Samoa?
Yeah. No, it'd be awesome. And ultimately playing in France, kind of
Carving up.
Yeah, doing really well. Just signed an extension as well. He's fit. He's getting a lot of game time. You think back to when he played at Leicester, where I think he averaged about 6 or 7 games a season. And now he's out in Bayonne, loving life, not playing internationally.
I saw some clips of him.
Yeah.
Have you seen the clips of him?
Yeah, mate, your man.
Monstrous.
Yeah, your man. Great to see. And hopefully he goes on to play for Samoa and they beat Scotland. That'd be nice.
In other news as well, All Black Hoskins Sotutu, that English rose of a name, has signed for the Newcastle Red Bulls.
Oh, was he signed?
Reportedly.
Reportedly,
Allegedly.
sorry, I should say that. He signed.
I hope this happens.
He's signed for Newcastle. They've got the big bucks out, and there was talk of Gloucester, and there was talk of Sarries, and he's decided to go to Newcastle.
For the cash.
For the cash. Yeah. So it would be great to see him in the Prem, though, let's be honest. And more movement, reportedly, allegedly, is George Martin. What a signing he'll be for Saracens if they can get him fit. Moving away from Leicester. I know his injury profile hasn't been great, but when you play the way that he plays, as physical and the tackles that he puts in, if Sarries can get him right, it'll be a big signing for Sarries. So I'm excited to see him.
Yeah, he's a hell of a baller, but he's had such bad luck with injuries over the last couple of years. But when he's fit, he's a test match animal every game, isn't he?
Chandler Cunningham South, friend of the show, Alex Anderson is not happy. Him turning up to Manchester in a Kia, he didn't want to see it because not only was Chandler Cunningham South wanting to turn up in a Kia, he was wanting £3 million a year or something. And Alex Anderson was no hearing it, even though they've got a multi-billionaire owner who listens to the show. Hello, Simon Orange.
Good news for Alex Anderson, though, that Joe Marchant has signed, apparently, allegedly, for Sale Sharks from next season. And obviously, Mrs. Marchant, a.k.a. Alan Shearer's daughter, Holly, has told him, you got to go back. We've got to go back to Manny. So, good signing that for Sale. They're losing Dupree, I think, in the centres. So Joe Marchant, who's been on fire for Stade Francais since he's moved across there, big signing for Sale.
Yeah, they've got budget as well. They're the movers and shakers of the Prem. They're the team that are going for it. They're the ones where they're like, right, apart from Chandler Cunningham South because he drives a Kia. In other news, Andrew, and I'm saying that surprisingly, I'm saying it surprisingly with how quickly and how well it's done. The Rugby Lions doc that we did. How good.
Yeah.
Mate, it is absolutely flying. They want us back. People want GoFundMe pages. We've set a GoFundMe page up for the team. We've had Nick Knowles reach out as well. I've had a message, Goode. I'll send it on to you. He wants to, I don't want to put pressure on him, but he's basically said he'll renovate the whole building.
He's going to renovate the whole place. The stands, the bars, the clubs, the house, the lot. What a ledge.
I mean, when we did it, I was like, how cool is this? It feels real. It feels genuine. It's a great collaboration to have with Camden Town Brewery. They need it. And it's flying. Roberto's smiling from ear to ear.
Do you know why it's done so well, though? Because it's a story that's in every grassroots rugby club. Like, it resonates because there's so many clubs that are the same, and you guys did a great job there.
Yeah, I've had loads of messages on it and saying set up a membership so everyone pays £25 to keep the funds coming in and make it a community club that way. Like, it's been so well received, and it's a massive credit to Camden Town Brewery and what they put behind it, but everyone at Rugby Lions as well saying, actually, we are fucked, we need help, hand in the air, and everyone working towards trying to bring them back. And like Rob said, it resonates across the whole country for junior rugby clubs. So mate, buzzing for it. Hopefully we can do a lot more as well.
We're right in saying, Rob, if people donate to the GoFundMe page, that goes directly into the club, right?
Straight to the club.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. You're welcome. And where's that? It's at the top of the YouTube link, is it?
Yes, it's pinned. So if you find the video on YouTube, so if you just go to YouTube, search for the Rugby Pod, I think there's a couple of videos in there. It's Jim Hamilton buys a rugby club or some other clickbait title. And it's the pinned comment in there.
There you go, Rob. Mate, look, I knew you added value. You're just the devil's in the detail. Of course it is. In other news as well, 2 red cards for La Rochelle this weekend. One for the player, but the more of the talking points are around Rog. He's got another red card for slating the officials in earshot of them hearing. He's already spent 21 weeks on the sidelines for misdemeanors in France. Oh, Rog, I'm loving it. I'll be honest, I'm fucking there for it. But he's under a bit of pressure. La Rochelle are 10th in the league. Maybe he's worried about his job security. We know he doesn't agree with the refs. Many people don't. And he's just going absolutely nuts. But he got red carded. So, attaboy.
I've heard the Red Bulls are coming for him. And that's why he's just chucking things around.
Come on.
Allegedly. Why would you leave La Rochelle to go to... Mate, a million reasons why you might.
If he goes, I'm going. If he goes to Newcastle Red Bulls, I'm going as well. I'm quitting this. I'm going to be general manager. So, yeah, we love Rog. Right, last one in other news. Anton Dupont makes his return. Hell of an edit by the top 14 as well. Some slow-mo, high quality. It might have been an 8K camera, though. It looked fucking savage, whatever it was. But played 30 minutes in the win against Rassie. There was a red card for a Zinedine Zidane headbutt in that game as well. It was chaos in the top 14. But anyway, Anton Dupont, awesome to see him back. No knee strapping. They've done a proper job on him. I don't think he's been rehabbed in France. He's been rehabbed properly, and he looks bloody good. And it's wicked to see for rugby.
Right, lads, should we finish things off with the good, the bad and the ugly?
Yes, we shall. And there's loads of Welsh themes going through the good, the bad and the ugly this week, which you shall find out about. We're going to start off, though, in the Prem. Jim's old club, Gloucester, get a massive shout out in the good to start off with. First win of the season for them. And shout outs as well to Ollie Thorley for his 150th appearance for the club, and Lewis Ludlow, the absolute Gloucester legend, 250th game for the club. They both scored tries, so well done to George Skivington, John Mitchell, who's been part of it as well recently. It's good for Gloucester to get the win. The Springboks over in Wales, demolition job. 73-0 to finish their tour in unbelievable scenes. Sticking with South Africans, the Stormers beat Munster 27-21 at Thomond Park. And the Lions, they get a shout out. They're never in the good. Never in the good, the Lions. They beat the Bulls 43-33 at Loftus Versfeld, and that is a big away win for the Lions boys, so big shout out to them. But realistically, we're going to Wales now, lads. We are going to Wales. Cardiff won again, 29-14, as we spoke about at Zebra. I know it's only Zebra, but they're up to second. They've got nosebleeds everywhere, the Cardiff boys. They are up to second in the URC. But the good this week is going to go to the Scarlets. They've been in the bad a hell of a while. No, they ain't the Scats anymore. They are the Scarlets. They dominated Glasgow 23-0. They were physical. Their line out was good. Their scrum was excellent. They played the conditions well. Sam Costello at 10, Gareth Davis at 9, outstanding. And they thoroughly deserve the good this week because they've got their first win of the season. So massive shout out to Dwayne Peel, back.
Legend of a bloke.
Yeah, top man. And all the Scarlets boys for getting their first win of the season. And that's why they win the good this week.
Here, here.
The bad, few bits of bad. Saints nearly took 50 at Bristol's. Not very good. Newcastle Red Bulls lose again. That's played 6, lost 6. Sorry, Rod. Perpignan over in France, they lost again, 23-7 at Cast. That's played 11, lost 11 for Perpin Poo. Oh, my days. Sale get mentioned the bad for giving up a 26 points to 6 lead at home. Our old club, Jim, the Sharks, they got spanked 44-17 over at Connacht. 14th in the URC. How bad's that? That ain't good, is it?
Not great with the team they've got, no.
No, awful. Ron O'Gara gets a shout in the bad for his sending off for La Rochelle, and they took 53 points at Poo as well. So bad day for La Rochelle and Ron O'Gara. But the bad this week, unfortunately, goes to Wales, the national team. Record defeat at home, most points conceded in the 73-0 defeat to the Springboks. First time, I think, in 58 years that they've been nilled at home. So a really dark and gloomy day for everyone to do with the Welsh national team. And that's why they win the bad this week. And then a few bits of ugly. Quite a few bits of ugly to get through. We're going to start off with Eduardo Todoro, the Northampton winger, for taking out Sam Worsley. 20-minute red card for that one, which looked really ugly. And the uglies get worse. Yannick Tarrant, Jim mentioned it before, he went full Zinedine Zidane with a flying headbutt on Efren Elias, the Argentinian for Toulouse. Have a watch of it. He's gone Zinedine Zidane. You can't be doing that, can you, Jim?
If he's Zidane, you were on the balcony of the French president after you win the World Cup, so only he can do that.
Yeah. So Yannick Tarrant gets a mention for that from Racing. We mentioned it earlier. Hastoy, the La Rochelle fly half, he did a karate kick catching a ball. 1 minute into the game, gets a straight red card. But the ugly this week goes to a combination, James, of your good friend Eben Etzebeth and Alex Mann from Wales. Both had a gouge of each other. Eben's is awful. Alex Mann has started it with a finger in the eye. Long bands coming for both of them, and that's why Eben Etzebeth and Alex Mann win the ugly. So a bit of Welsh in the good, the bad and the ugly there, James.
Shout outs to finish, lads.
Yeah, got a few shout outs. Thank you as always. First one is to the Swiss women. Hello. Have been in touch to ask for a shout out. That's what we're doing as they beat Grenoble women 12 points to 10 in Nyon. It's not Leon, is it? It's Nyon.
Nyon. Yeah.
Nyon.
Yeah, there you go. Also, a massive shout out to Rob Argent and Emily at Clarkson's Futures. We had a great time in Dubai with them. I've got my cap on. They're legends. We're going to see them all again, aren't we, Jim?
Yes, we are. Yeah, I got a shout out to Penarth RFC as well. You might have seen this doing the rounds. Their clubhouse, historic clubhouse, has unfortunately been completely destroyed in a fire, leaving one of Welsh rugby's oldest community hubs in ruins. They're going to be doing a bit of fundraising efforts to get things back on track. So in the near future, if you see any of that, then please keep an eye and help out where you can. That's Penarth RFC.
Yeah, and finally, a massive shout out to Alfie Wood, who plays for Newcastle under Limes, under 16s. He was recently attacked while out doing some solo conditioning work. He went for a run at night time, and Alfie turned around. There was a hooded guy trying to nick his phone. He turned around, had a set to with him, got the scumbag back, got the phone back, but it wasn't a very nice ordeal for him. So he's a bit shaken. Great club, Newcastle under Lyme. The under 16s have got a great crew, and Alfie is a big part of that. So hope you're well. Hope you are recovering, and the coaches and the players are proud of you, mate, for your fight back.
Yeah, another boy, but don't fight people back because it can be a bit dodgy. That's just the dad in me. That's just the dad in me as well. Yeah, big shout out to you, Alfie. Hope you're okay, bro.
Cheers, boys.
Thank you, everyone. Here we go. See you on Wednesday.
Christmas
London.
beers. Christmas beers. Fancy dress, Rob.
Beers. All right, I'll have a couple. Yeah, it's black tie. It's black tie on Wednesday, Rob, just so you know.
Fancy dress. Come as something, Rod. You got to perform now. Like a performing monkey. We'll get you doing something on stage. You tops off down a pint on stage, Rob?
100%.
Oh, you've heard it here first. There we go. We'll do that on Wednesday.
We'll get him and Slug Ant up there. Slug Ant. Like, how does he put a pint glass down when his hands are so sticky? He has to slam it. Anyway, thank you to everyone for listening as always. We appreciate every one of you. And you know where we are. We're across it all now. YouTube, we're flying. We're racing to 100k. We'll be there before Christmas, won't we, Rob?
Easy. I get a bonus for 800k as well. So
I'll do you. Right,
subscribe,
Rob
please.
gets a bonus. He needs some new trainers or some slippers for Christmas.
I think he gets more annual leave if we get there. So please get us there and we'll give him some more annual leave.
Please get us there, yeah. So subscribe on YouTube if you haven't done already. But the main platform, as always, Andrew, do the deeds.
Spotify.
That a boy, Rugby Spod.
Spotify, pod.